It's time to do some house flipping. The hole in the wall. A classic Minecraft home. You step in, and instantly the comforts of home fill you. Musty floors, dry, wet ceiling, damp bed, clogged storage system, weird book on the floor, and yes, a crafting table next to an anvil, and a wall of heat. Yeesh! This will not do at all. Okay, so you're probably not the Property Brothers or Michelangelo, but you could still make a really good Minecraft house on your own. You just need to know a couple basic steps and you can be off to creating that original work of art and architecture that you dream of to call your very own home. When it comes to building, most players don't even want to try it. They just say, hey, I'm not good at that. I can't do it. But you can. You can make something good. It's possible for any player. They can make a work of art. They can make the best base in all of history. So let's get out there and do it. Okay, the first thing we gotta do is know the difference between a good house and a bad house. And why it is a good house and a bad house. So let's take a look at these two houses. Number one, detail. Look at the walls. There's little crevices here and there. It's not one flat surface. Look at in here now. This is the exact opposite of that other house. Flat stone. You go on the inside. Flat, 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 flat. So really the first thing is, you've got to make your walls interesting. You can't just have flat, flat. You gotta have detail. Okay, now let's take a look on inside. We get the outside. There's detail. But look at the inside. More detail. Look at this. It's a rotisserie chicken over a campfire. It's not just some campfire placed in the middle of the room. Look at the floor even. You see the patterns of the logs going sideways, back and forth? That's detail. Now, over-detailing is something that can be really bad. But just the little things, like this. That's really good. It adds a lot to a home. Look at this. This detail. Now, I could just do this. But now it feels emptier. This wall doesn't have too much detail. It doesn't have depth. We need to add something to it. And that's where the walls come in. You add those walls, and it looks just great. Then we got the, classic crafting table. The bed looks pretty good. It fits right into this homey log cabin. And then even the roof. Look at the roof. It's not just spruce, spruce, spruce. That gets boring. We can mix it up. We got little hay here, little hay there, and the hay is on all kinds of directions. That mixes it up just as well. Also, we got these little outcroppings. That adds a little bit even more depth. Then we got even the chimney. A little bit of realism. This is a really good base to practice on. It's small. Anyone could build this in survival in maybe about an hour. Nothing big, nothing big. You got the bookshelves, just survival needs, but it looks good. Now over here, this is practical. You got your wall furnaces, your storage and stuff, but it's ugly. And that's because there's no detail. It's just stone. Stone, stone, and dirt. Not good. So now we know a difference of what we need to do and what we don't need to do. Now it's time to check out what kind of base you're going to build. This is arguably the most important factor because it's going to affect everything else about your build. So you got to ask yourself, what are you going to build? Are you going to build a castle? Are you going to build a modern skyscraper? Are you going to build a modern house? Are you going to build a log cabin? Are you going to build a classic farm with a red barn? Because this will determine where you're going to put it, how you're going to build it, and what colors are you going to use and what blocks you are going to need. AKA, this is monumental. But it's not too hard. Most players know exactly what they want to do. So, you find out what you want to do. Okay, second tip. Location, location, location. You're going to build a nice castle? You might want to consider the mountainsides for dramatic, nice landscape. Look at that waterfall. See, that would fit perfect. Castle towers. You get the picture. Now, if you're going to build a log cabin, you might want to go deep in the forest. Maybe a dark oak forest. That would be really sweet. Now, if you're going to go full-blown farm, go for the plains. The plains is really the best spot. Nice, flat, great farmland. And so on. If you're going to build a modern house, maybe build it by the water. Okay, so we know what we're going to build now. and we know where we're going to build it now. We've got the location. Let's take this for example, this place right in front of us. Next up is, what is it going to be made of? This is called block palette. It's just like if you were going to go paint a painting. You got to pick the right paints you're going to use. Same with building in Minecraft. You got to pick the right colored blocks you're going to use. Now for modern, you want to go with contrasting. In the classic is white and gray. But you can also mix it up with different shades of gray. Okay, anyway. We've also got this. Look at these wood. You see how they go from light to dark? It's almost like a perfect transition. These also tend to work good. Like, let's say we're going to build a tower. We got like this dark stuff right here. And then you go a little bit lighter. You go a little bit lighter. And you go a little bit lighter. Until finally, you get to the lightest color. Just look at that. That in itself looks pretty good, actually. And I was just randomly placing blocks. I mean, with the right blocks, and the right shades, and the right type, you can make things look really good. Now look at this. You go from bedrock, here, 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 here. This is an example of a bad block palette. As you can see, from here to here, there's no match. From here to here, and from here to here, there's no match either. Here in the middle, though, is a pretty decent block palette, actually. Like, if we just chop those off, that's really good. It's just the bedrock and the clay were really out of place, but you can see how there's a smooth transition in between. And if I were to randomly place these just like those, it'd look really good. You want to start usually with darkest on the bottom, and you get lighter as you go to the top. That usually works out really good. Okay, so you got your wall now, but it's flat. Too flat. The first thing we can do with this is change up the pattern. See how we mixed up the logs? We got a little wave pattern here, we got a wave pattern here, and it all straightens out at the top. This is already a lot more interesting than that over there. The second thing we can do is add depth. Just look at the difference. Now we've got two layers. We got this little layer and this outer layer. And it really gives it more texture, more contrast, and it really makes it pop. And then you can put all of it together like this. And when that's done, it's called a freeze. You've got something in the center, and you've got kind of like a border on the outside. This just divides your wall, and it's a good thing to use when you've got large sections of wall. I mean, you can use this, and you can use that sometimes, but sometimes you gotta put it together and divide the wall. And the inside, you can put the fancy design, and on the outside, you got some depth, and you can split the wall up and work into it. And you can even put custom patterns in each one. But this is a good way for breaking up walls into smaller sections. This right here is an example of putting everything together. We've got that block palette. We go from dark to light up to above. We got that pattern. We got that depth. Look at this. The window goes in and it comes out, goes in and it comes out. We've also got a mixture. It's not just a boring cube. We've got this thing protruding out, making things interesting, a little pavilion. And on this side as well, we've got this thing coming out. It's making things interesting. We added a little detail. We made a nice garden. Simple pattern. Even for the garden, look what we used. Detail. Wall. It's a freeze. See how the walls are outlining what's in the center? You got just a bush on top. A little bamboo here and there. Nothing special. And just this, again, just a little details. We're using that wall thing. We're using this and that. And now we've got this little thing in the middle. This is for depth. You see, you can walk in, you can walk out. Because if we just did this, it's just flat. All these things come together beautifully. Now for the final thing. Interior. Details are just adding a minor touch here and there. Like here. These could be lamps. Just add those two and it looks a little bit better, more realistic, and it brightens the place up. And here, we got like the fluorescent lighting. Just think of kind of real life and how it would work. You got a nice little like garden right here. The bamboo fits nicely as a nice like modern shrub. Bamboo just fits with modern, even in real life as well. We've got like a table standing on one leg, modern in real life as well as Minecraft. Just think of real life. We got a computer right here. More bamboo, you know, modern. N-Rod, classic modern, you know, chair, oak. We come up here, we got our bed with a sign on it. Looks like a bed, but also it's a couch. You got a TV. You got a little drawer under the TV. You know, more modern lighting. And you just got this little outcropping. Then we got these like hanging lights, like Art Deco. And we got more shrubbery. You can't go wrong with modern and bushes. But yeah, it's just adding. Be creative with it. Think of what it would look like in real life. What would be added in real life. Like a castle, you might want a cool chandelier. You might want to make it out of oak fences, like this. And as well, like couches. That's in a real life modern house. Build a couch. You can use these. And you can use these. And you mix it up with all the tools that Minecraft gives you. And it gives you a really good house. And that's everything. First, you want to make sure walls are not boring, not flat. Mix it up. I mean, look at the example behind me. It's not just oak. That's it. You just gotta mix it up. Second, block palette. Don't choose random blocks. Find blocks that mesh together. The colors fit. Third, detail. You gotta add that furniture. Think of real life. What would be in that house in real life? And just add it in Minecraft using all the tools. Be creative and go crazy. And that's it. You can be the master builder. Build that great house of yours. Make it look nice.